So, back for the second time as a retro release. They are wrapped individually, but I've already done the B-roll, so they're no longer wrapped. But the black cats are back. And do they squeak? That's like the main thing. I don't know where the hell this started from, but it's not that big of a deal, guys. It's just not. Hey, what's going on, guys? My name's Chris. Welcome back to the official WearTesters.com YouTube channel. Today we got a detailed look and breakdown on the 2025 edition of the Air Jordan 4 Black Cats. This is a shoe in a colorway that made its debut all the way back in 2006. I believe that version came with a special poster as well. The shoe was retroed for the first time back in 2020, and for some reason they became super popular. So now they're back again in 2025, but slightly different, and might I say, a hell of a lot better. I don't know where this information came from too. People seem to think that this version of the shoe is trash in terms of material, and I'm like, it's not. But just in case you were wondering, this is the box, pretty standard as far as select Air Jordan 4 boxes are concerned. It is a open top lid, not the pull-off lid. Black splatter on an all black package. And again, inside each shoe is wrapped individually, and the main reason for that is because the materials on these are more premium than previous versions of this shoe. So when you see an Air Jordan product nowadays and each shoe is individually wrapped in its own tissue paper, that's your first sign that they're using good materials. The reason why they're individually wrapped is so that either the dye does not migrate from one shoe to the next, or in a case like this, where you have the little pull tabs right there, you don't want them to like scuff up the other material on the other shoe, and so on and so forth. So yeah, first indication of a higher quality product is when they're individually wrapped. The second thing, should I just get rid of it now?
Go for it.
Just do it. Again, I don't know where this came from or like where it started, but obviously the internet has like done its thing where it gets a hold of something that it thinks it could be viral and everybody copies and mimics it, and everybody's saying that these squeak and stuff. So the reason behind the squeak is simply the little lace crowns right here. They're plastic and they're shiny coated, and then the material that is made out of the shoe is a genuine nubuck this time, much different than the previous two releases of this shoe. So you've got a higher quality build with a dyed skin, and then you got plastic touching it, so when it's directly touching it, it sounds like SpongeBob. But the simple fix, and most sneakerheads should know this, at least sneakerheads from my generation, like my era, is the first thing that we typically do when we get a pair of shoes, besides smell them, because that new shoe smell is just heavenly. But the second thing that we do is we unchoke the fucking things. These things come, you know what I mean? Like they can't breathe. And when that happens, everything's touching itself. And when they're not, what do you know? The sound is gone. Isn't that crazy? Yeah, it even happens down here where nothing, man. If I touch them on purpose, obviously, but when I'm wearing them, which I will show you right now. Watch these right here. No rubbing, no squeaking. Make it rub. Little bit of squeaking, but nothing crazy. Same thing here. No squeaking, because no rubbing. Make them touch. Move them out of the way. There you go. No sound. Insane. Were you going to say something?
I wanted to do a preemptive personal question of the day. We'll still have a regular question of the day. But
this is like a mid video?
Yes, a mid video. Only because the Jordan 4 is the one Jordan where I feel there are too many lace holes put together.
Especially right there.
Oh, it's just chaos. There's so much laces happening all at once.
But when you unchoke them, they don't look that bad.
Still a little bit.
No.
I'm just curious if anybody else feels like, hey, maybe we should have taken one or two of these out. There's too much.
They do for the grade school launches. There's only 2 instead of 3.
Okay.
And then on top of that, some people fully unlace these, especially back in the day, and they will only use like one. And a lot of times they move it up.
Okay.
And to me, that looks weird because then you got a whole lot of space here.
Yeah.
And you have empty holes, which that drives me nuts. Where it's like, those are there, why aren't you using them? But the reason is because like obviously alternative lacing systems, because they're basketball shoes. I know, it's insane,
I know,
right?
it's fully customizable.
It's so crazy that like these are for basketball. Now, as far as the outsole goes, standard Air Jordan 4 outsole, it was the very first Air Jordan signature shoe to feature herringbone traction. Not only that, they've got it in multi-directional fashion, so it was perfect for the court. This particular release switches things up from the previous two, where it's got Nike branding on the bottom done up in white, whereas the previous versions had a Jumpman on there because it was a Jumpman colorway, like it was a Jordan brand version of this Air Jordan 4. It was not an original made by Nike back in 1989. 1989. Moving on up, we've got a glossy black polyurethane midsole. This is one of the areas that I'll critique, is just that things look a little sloppy on these. I think that that's going to be pretty standard. I'm pretty sure this is a massive GR, so they were just kind of like pumping these things out of the factories. So yeah, if you're going to see glue and weird smudges and stuff like that, I would just get used to it now. If stuff like that bothers you, maybe pass on these until they go on sale, if they go on sale. Nowadays, you never know. But inside of that polyurethane midsole is a 4-foot encapsulated air sole unit. In the rear, there's a visible one. The insole is the Dream Cell variety, so not the greatest, but it gets the job done. If you wanted to switch that thing out, it's not glued in, so you can put in orthotics, you can put in custom insoles, whatever it is that you like to wear. Do it. Now, the material on these guys are by far the best out of the bunch in terms of this particular colorway being released or retroing. Both the original 2006 and the 2020 retro featured synthetic materials, a synthetic nubuck to be specific. I will say that the visuals on those are much more kind of like to my liking. The original shoe way back in 1989 actually featured Durabuck, which was a synthetic material. At the time, they were touting it as like being more durable than leather, more easily cleanable, and so on and so forth. It ended up not being like the case, and Durabuck is no longer like manufactured. The reason being is that Durabuck was a licensed product, so kind of like Cordura Mesh, like they would buy Durabuck from the company that created and manufactured Durabuck. They would source it. They no longer can source it, so that's why we just get regular synthetics now. So what's missing on this particular retro is all of the beautiful white lines that you would see, or the gray lines that you would see on every panel, on every cut line. And the reason why you were seeing that stuff is just because it was fibers, you know what I mean? Like they had the synthetic top coat, which was the synthetic nubuck, or in the original form, Durabuck. And with this one right here, they actually use real genuine nubuck. I'm not saying that it's premium quality or anything like that, but I am saying that it's actual nubuck. Like this is the real deal. Like this is a cow's ass, if you will. It's been dyed jet black, so that's another thing where some people are kind of like thrown off by that a little bit. It definitely does not have the ashy look. I have seen many comments on many social media platforms about, oh, they look so ashy. It's not that they're ashy, it's just that it's a dyed material. You know what I mean? Like it's a genuine material here. They've dyed it, and unlike the synthetic stuff, it doesn't adhere to all the weird little like dust particles that are inside the box from the paper. So ashy, they are not. Will they fade over time? Yes. Luckily though, it's a real material, so you could just dye this right back to black and you'll be good to go. Now the lace crowns on these guys, or the eyelets, or the plastic nets or whatever, like I said, those are the things causing the weird squeaking sound. When they're against a synthetic product, like a synthetic nubuck, they're not gonna make that same sound because they were glossy black just like this on the previous two versions. But when you got it up against a dyed genuine material, it's just gonna stick to it a little bit, like things stick to our own skin. That's exactly what's happening to this. But again, all you gotta do is unchoke them things. They'll be fine, I promise. I do like that they kept the lockdown wing in a actual material. So much like the original version of this shoe, it's not plastic, it's actually like part of the material and everything. On the 2006 and 2020, it would have been a synthetic material, whereas these guys, it's actual nubuck. The originals from 1989 were the plastic wings. However, they did change up the back heel tab in two ways, one of which is the material itself. On the previous versions, it was much like the lockdown wings. It was the same material as the rest of the build, and then it would have a plastic Jumpman protruding out of it. Those plastic Jumpman, I believe, were also glossy, just like the little lace crowns or eyelet things, whatever you want to call them. Whereas for this version, they've actually switched things up, and it's got a plastic heel tab, much like the original product that was released in 1989. And again, much like the original product, they've got Nike Air on the back, which is a really interesting look. I don't understand the reasoning at this point for why there's Nike Air. It was like very clear at first. It was on original products, original stories / collabs. And now it just seems to be placed on some stuff, but not on everything. So like, I'm just kind of like, why is that? Why is Nike Air on the back of this, but not on the back of something else? You know what I'm saying? So that's my only real question. Or is it just that the manufacturing dates have been kind of like jumbled up, and so we're getting a mixture of products before the full Nike Air treatment is in full effect? But outside of those minor changes, the shoe itself pretty much sticks to its original theme. This goes and pays tribute to MJ and one of his on-court monikers, the Black Cat. That's something that like certain shoes would actually pay tribute to in terms of overall design, like the Air Jordan 13. And then there was the Air Jordan 13 Tinker that released, but they changed the name to the Air Jordan Black Cat, and that was the original sketch design of the Air Jordan 13 that never released. We've got reviews on all of them. Now, in terms of sizing, they do fit true to size. Whatever you typically wear with your Air Jordan 4s, that's exactly what I would recommend. It's got the brand new shape that is more alike to the original 1989. I think that these just look fantastic. Like the toe is so fucking pretty. It's amazing. If you were interested interested in grabbing a pair of these, they'll be available here locally in the Sacramento and Elk Grove area over at Phenom. I believe they will be over at both locations, so make sure that you check on their social media page, which is simply Phenom Global over at Instagram, for their launch procedures. Every launch procedure is a little bit different, so you will want to follow them if you're local. And with that being said, what is today's viewer submitted question of the day? What was the earlier question? I don't even remember.
My irritation with how crowded the laces are.
That's right, my bad. Sorry.
Today's question of the day is actually quite like this shoe, where the internet has grabbed a hold and
taken off.
Yes. The hot topic button is: I'm curious to hear your thoughts on Curry leaving Under Armour, not only as a sneaker content creator, but as a Warriors fan as well.
I think it's interesting. I could have sworn that they gave him a lifetime deal, because they gave him like not full ownership, but they gave him the subdivision brand, much like Jordan, where it's like technically owned by the main brand, but then it's run independently. And with that, he was named the president of his own brand. You know what I mean? Much like Michael Jordan is with the Jordan brand. When you go and look at like certain quotes and stuff like that from Kevin Plank and from Stephen Curry, it seems like even though that the split was amicable, that there was something going on behind the scenes. I've been told certain things. I don't want to say what they are, just because I don't know if they're true. They're like, it's from some people, but not from everyone. You know what I mean? Like, not all of the dots have aligned. So I don't want to spread false rumors or anything like that. But I've been told stuff, and I'm not concerned. I was just like surprised. You know what I mean? I was like, really? Like, are you sure? As far as my overall thoughts go, it seems like he gets to keep the logos and the brand name and everything, which is great, even though Under Armour owns the copyrights for them, or the trademarks for them right now, but I believe the ownership will go over to him after the 13's release. And then from there, he can then shop around, and basically he's gonna have to find new partners. So whether that's independent individuals or companies, or somebody that wants to invest in the Curry brand so that they can then manufacture product on their own, or if he's gonna align that brand with another brand, much like it was originally like tied to Under Armour. Like, will he go to Jordan brand and use their manufacturing, or Puma, or Series Player Only, or Anta, or whatever, like whatever the brand could be, like he's gonna need a partner in that sense, because getting factories that are of high quality, making good product and stuff like that is not easy. It's very expensive, and it takes a load of money. Like, do I think that it's weird? A little bit. Do I think that he's going to align with another brand? I'm not sure. He's, by NBA standards, kind of old now, and I don't mean this disrespectfully. It's just that he's like close to 40. You know what I mean? Like, he's like 37 or something like that, and that's not what sneaker brands look for today. They're not signing old prospects, you know what I mean? Even though some of them do, but it's not a standard practice. Like, they're looking for the new up-and-comer. They basically try to buy low and grow with their own brand, you know what I mean? And their fan base and stuff. So will that happen with Stephen Curry? I don't know. He's 37.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I was really, I was like, man, I hope that he actually is.
I was just laughing to myself because I type in how old is Curry, expecting my phone to know what Curry I'm talking about.
Are they talking about food?
It brought up some guy named John Stewart Curry, who died at 48 years of age. But I was like, why would you even think I'm looking up that guy? I don't know who that guy is.
No idea.
I'm going to learn about him, so go on.
Okay. Where do I think he'll land? I'm not sure. I really hope that he's able to go the independent route, but I just find that to be fairly unlikely without a lot of investment. Just in terms of business, especially with like this space, the basketball sneaker space being so down, and it really hasn't recovered. It's been on a downward trend for about 10 years now. Like, it's kind of weird. I just hope that wherever he goes or whatever happens, that he's happy, and that's pretty much it. I got nothing really else to say. But with all of that being said, sound off below and let us know your thoughts on the Curry Under Armour situation. On top of all of that, let us know what you think about the 2025 edition of the Air Jordan 4 Black Cat. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for watching. Do not stress out about the squeak thing. If you like these, just buy them. They won't squeak once you unchoke the damn laces. They'll be good. And with that being said, I'll catch you guys in the next one. So until then, you guys have a good one.
John Stewart Curry was an American painter. He's Kansas' best known painter, but the Kansans do not like him. They felt he depicted their state in not a very positive light.
Via painting?
Yeah.
What? The f was he painting?
And that is your history fact for the day.
More context. Need more context.